number 2, Public Speaking, a Motivational Perspective of Harinder Singh. The acceleration of disruptive technology has created changes in the way we communicate, making it essential to know how to be effective. There are a few places where we can learn the new trends in communication while developing fellowship through collaboration and improving leadership while volunteering. If you want to navigate through this new normal stage in our society, this show is for you. For today's episode, we are interviewing Harinder Singh.
Harinder has been associated with Lakeview Toastmasters Club since October 2017. He has served as a VP of membership for consecutive 2 years in a row. As a VP of membership, he won 5 members PIN and 10 members PIN awards. He also contributed to win President's Distinguished Club Award. Recently, he has been promoted to the position of an area director, and he is in charge of 4 clubs including Lakeview Toastmasters Club. He is also an accomplished senior project manager and program manager within the IT industry for last 20 plus years and successfully completed many large and complex global projects, especially in Australia and Canada. He has been actively involved with PMI Lakeshore chapter as a part of mentoring program for last 2 years. Welcome, Harinder.
Thank you for having me, Swati and Alvik.
Harinder, tell our listeners about your journey with Toastmasters Club, until now as a member and then as a VP and recently as an area director.
Thank you, Alvik. My journey with the Toastmasters Club has been a fantastic journey, I would say is that. Reason being, I still remember the day when I came on board in the year 2017, and it was the month of October. My first day when I was there, I had no clue. I just raised my hand, and it was an impromptu speech. I had no idea what to say, but if I have to summarize, I would say so. It is the courage which can take you far away rather than, having a anxious or not knowing what you're supposed to be conveying. So the Toastmasters was a complete new thing for me prior to that meeting, and I never looked back from that day onwards. Whenever I had the opportunity, I took the challenge of going on, improving day-on-day basis, both from my prepared speeches perspective, as well as by honing up my leadership skills, by contributing to the monthly meetings, by raising my hand of grabbing the leadership roles whenever it was available. As my colleague Swati, she mentioned in her introduction, I was responsible for 5-member PIN enrollment and 10-member PIN enrollment. What does that mean is I helped bringing 10 guests twice in a row, 5 new guests twice in a row for the growth or for achieving the set goals for our club in a span of 2 years when I was VP membership for the club. And recently, I got the opportunity of serving my not only my club but my district as an area director, and I am responsible for the growth of 4 clubs within my area, and Lakeview Toastmasters is one of them, since I'm a member of Lakeview Toastmasters. So just to summarize, Alvik, my journey with the Toastmasters have been a great experience and great learning platform, which I'm still enjoying. Thank you.
What are the challenges you are facing as an area director?
Well, Swati, as an area director, the major challenge I would say is aligning all the clubs to the vision and the goals defined by the district. All the clubs have their own challenges or issues or their own growth perspective related, which they are dealing on month-on-month basis or as and when they convene within their executive group. My role as an area director is to align all the clubs with my district vision and goals. If my district leadership has set a target to be 20 members by, let's say, September, and for all the clubs, so I have to ensure I'm percolating or relaying the message to all the 4 clubs consistently. So number one is the communication. It has to be consistent across all the clubs. The other challenge, what I have is the responsible leadership for all the 4 clubs. They need to be fully aware of what is expected out of their defined roles, because we all are working in a volunteer position, but we have been mandated to align and contribute for the growth and promotion of Toastmasters International, not within our club, outside our club, and within our area. So my challenge also is to look for the opportunity for the growth of all the clubs, and if possible, to add one more club in my area.
Thank you, Harinder. This is a real challenge. So how different are those roles, and how do you manage to volunteer at this level of district while handling a family and a career?
Well, that's a great question, Alvik. As they say, when you have raised your hand to take up a leadership position, you've got to be committing yourself. Unless or until you are passionate, you can't go that far off. I have seen in the recent past people taking up some of the leadership roles, but come next year, either they themselves are not willing to continue, or they become overwhelmed with the process. They don't opt to go for the continuity. What it means is you've got to be committed, you've got to be passionate from day one. You need to be fully aware of this is what you are going to go for. You need to discuss that not only at the personal level with your family. You need to chalk out the plan, how much is going to be the commitment which is required from your side, be it 10 hours per month, 20 hours per month. If you are willing to contribute that much, then definitely I would highly encourage one should go for that. That's what I do, that sort of maths upfront, and see to it whether I will be in a position, considering the constraint of supporting my family. As you all know, my daughter is still, now she's grown up, but she is there studying in Ottawa, and I do visit her sometimes, and I have done my management first upfront before committing for these roles.
Thank you.
Harinder, one of your characteristics is your happy way to be, always ready to help with a smile. How has this attribute helped you to be the better version of yours?
Thank you, Swati. I have learned it in a hard way, I would say so. I also had struggled in the past, and what I have learned so far is the more you give to the society, to the people, you get the multi-folds back. And it is purely your attitude. If you want to contribute in a happy way, it will come back in a happy mode back to you. If you want to serve others with the intent of what is in it for me, it's not going to give you what you are expecting. So the contribution or helping others should be a selfless task, in my opinion. and you should not look for what I'm going to get in return. That's what gives you a lot of satisfaction internally, and that makes you feel good. And when you are feeling good, it reflects on your face. That's why you try to portray yourself in a happy mode when you are helping others with no intent of getting anything in return.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harinder. As we mentioned earlier, you're always ready to help with humility. Can you describe to our listeners how this quality has helped you in building relationships with people?
Thank you, Alvik. To be honest, I'm still working on to be more humble, but what I have learned so far is whenever you are trying to approach people, the first thing we should always remember, we should try to understand their perspective rather than putting our needs first. That was my mantra from day one. Whenever I try to approach any new member joining our club as a guest, I make sure I try to check with them what are their goals, why they want to join us, what are they looking out of this meeting or post this meeting, rather than telling this is what our club can provide them, and the opportunity is there to have your communication skill enhanced, to have your leadership skill enhanced. I try to map to their needs whatever the club can offer, and also outside of the club, for example, the networking opportunity with the like-minded professional, they can use or leverage that networking opportunity to grow outside of the club environment. When they are applying for roles, they can seek out their references. If they have come from overseas they are new to Canada, or also if someone is trying to work on a particular skill, I normally talk to them. We can associate a seasonal mentor to address to their need or one of their asks as part of the Toastmasters journey. Thank you.
Harinder, to summarize, can you give our listeners some tips on the ice-breaking conversation with new members?
Thank you, Swati. In my previous question, I did mention about a few things. Whenever you are having a conversation for the first time, you should always try to seek from their perspective whatever the things the other person is looking for, rather than putting our own view. We should give the other person the opportunity to highlight what challenges, what areas they would like to work on. And then based on, we all know now as part of Toastmasters International, we have close to 10 plus pathways. So we can guide them, we can map one of the pathways to their requirement, and then they can continue their journey as part of the Toastmasters, working on the areas where they want to hone up their skills, be it leadership, be it a storyteller, be it a communication expert, or for that matter, having expertise in doing a PowerPoint presentation, or things which we are doing today, preparing a podcast. If someone is lacking how to make a world-class podcast, that's the excellent opportunity which we all are contributing. And Toastmasters International do provide a platform to hone up your skills in a various ways. So it's a very powerful umbrella. And that's what I encourage as an icebreaker for our prospective guest. They should come visit us and join any of the club which is near to their location. And considering the COVID-related situation or scenario, we are fortunate anyone can join us virtually, either as part of the Zoom meeting from here in Canada, or they can join us from any part of the world till the time we have the situation where we have to be there in person. So these are the ideal times for anyone who is looking to get some additional help or in terms of their communication skills, in terms of their networking opportunity, Toastmasters International is an ideal platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Harinder. It has been a very informative session of questions, and we would like to thank you and our listeners for taking the time to get better as communicators day by day. Stay tuned for our next episode.